First, local, live. Now, from Central Oregon's news leader, this is the KTVZ 4th of July Fireworks Spectacular.
And good evening, everyone, and welcome to the KTVZ 4th of July Fireworks Spectacular, streaming live tonight here on KTVZ Plus, sponsored by Subaru of Bend, Patio World, and Good Life Brewing Company. I'm Lee Anderson, joined by my buddy, local alert Chief Meteorologist John Carroll. What a great night for some fireworks. I hope folks are bundled up outside. A little bit chilly out there today.
It's a bit crisp out there. We're dropping into the 60s, and the good news is the skies are clear. The best part of us, look at the Old Mill District shot. You can see that it was a little bit scary today with the showers that were coming on through, but boy, I'll tell you what, this is just a beautiful, beautiful view of Pilot Butte, and very, very shortly we're going to be seeing some pretty cool looking fireworks coming out of that. But as far as our forecast from the day, look what happened today. This is early in the day. Look at all the folks out there in the Prineville Reservoir. Our time lapse shows us that there was a lot of rain early in the day. People were getting a little nervy as far as getting ready for the event tonight. But as we moved forward through the day, you could see those clouds were coming in and everything was settling down nicely. Areas are looking pretty good in the region. We have dry conditions everywhere. It looks like it's wet in Redmond. It's not. That's just the view. Lapine looking dry, Prineville as well. So yeah, this holiday weekend starting out really nice. Winds barely noticeable. Look at that. We have them at about 5 to 10 miles an hour along the 97 corridor, 4 miles an hour in Sisters. It's calm in Prineville, and that is great. Those fireworks are going to go up and just dissipate so nicely and politely through the atmosphere. Here's a look at our satellite and radar. Nothing going on. We are in the dry part now. All the stormy weather has exited the region, heading off into Idaho. Just now exiting Malheur County. A couple of showers down in through Lake County, a little bit there in Klamath, but just not much hanging around. Radar, let's go 745, and that was about it. You know, see everything kind of settling in as we move forward through the evening time frame, and then nothing's really going to return to the area. So this is the beginning of the nighttime 4th of July, and it's looking real nice. Now, there were some trouble spots down in through Klamath County and Lake County. This is Lake County here, Klamath County right there. Along 31, further to the south, we did see some showers move on through. But as far as the future track is concerned here on this 4th of July, by 10 o'clock, we're looking at clear skies. 4 a.m., not much going on at all. And 8 o'clock in the morning, we're going to wake up to plenty of sunshine. It's going to look really nice out there for your Saturday. Temperatures are going to get into the 80-degree range. It's going to be a very pleasant day. Typical summertime pattern. Currently, we got 61 and 63. 10-mile-an-hour winds, that's not bad. That's what I would call a light breeze. Clear conditions, no problems as far as visibility of those fireworks. Current temperatures in the region, 58 Sun River, 55 in Sisters, 61 in Madras. Lows tonight, 47 in Bend, 37 though in Lapine, 10 degrees cooler just a little bit further down the road. Highs tomorrow are going to get us into the 70s and into the 80s, which is just about where we should be for this time of year. So as we extend it out, our future track has us Monday hot. We're getting back to the 90s. We're going to stay in the 90s, and it looks like we're going to be there until Wednesday when we do see a passing storm.
All right, John, thank you very much. We have team coverage of tonight's festivities. First, our Claire Elmer is in Bend on the roof of Bend's Subaru dealership, and our Jillian Fortner is in Redmond at the Deschutes County Fairgrounds. Let's begin tonight with Claire Elmer. Claire, the countdown is on for tonight's show.
Hey Lee, we are live right at the base of Pilot Butte. We are on top of the roof of Subaru of Bend, one of our sponsors for tonight. We're about 15 minutes away from the fireworks show. We're going to have the best seat in the house thanks to Matt Thomas with Subaru of Bend, again one of our sponsors. Thanks so much for having us.
Thank you for showing up. Appreciate it.
Well, what made you want to put on this event?
It's about the community. It's about the veterans. It's about freedom. It's about independence. My uncle's buried in Belgium, died in the Battle of Bulge at 19, and so it's about having respect for everybody that takes care of our country and the freedoms that we have.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, would you say fireworks are one of your favorite parts of the 4th of July?
Yes, it is. enjoyed fireworks my whole life. I'm kind of a pyro.
Yeah.
This is going to be the biggest year we've ever had. We took it over from the Bolton years ago. They sponsored it for 38 years, and it's like we have to keep the tradition going. And it's about the kids, you know? It's about
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for having us. We really
Yeah, I
appreciate
appreciate
it.
it. Thank you.
Yeah. And again, growing up in Central Oregon, I know fireworks at the top of Pilot Butte was always the highlight of the year. So we're so excited to be here at the base. And again, it's about 15 minutes away from a great fireworks show. So we'll get back to you, Lee, in the station.
All right, thank you, Claire. Clarification, we're about 9 minutes now away from the fireworks and time to go to Redmond. Let's check in with Jillian Fortner. She is live to set the scene for us in Redmond at the Deschutes County Fairgrounds.
Lee, I'm kind of getting a pre-fireworks show because I'm looking out and seeing a lot of illegal fireworks happening around me, but we've been out here for a couple of hours seeing that we had some people in the grass getting ready for the show tonight. So here's a video of some of them that we've seen out on the field. They were getting ready with their food and they have games. I even saw that some people brought a bounce house, which is a lot of fun too. So just looking at it, everything, you may notice that a lot of the fairgrounds is empty, and this is due to safety reasons. So basically, they want to keep everyone away and just have enough space for the fireworks crew. They're going to be launching about half a mile behind me, as you can see right there. It's a little dark, but soon it'll be lit up. And safety, as I mentioned, is a top priority. So the fire crews are going to be out here kind of inspecting right before the show, and they're going to be sticking around just in case there's an emergency as well. There's been a lot of coordination, too, with the fairgrounds and the airport as well. And just, you know, getting ready for a really spectacular night. I do know that the show is about 20 minutes long, and I think there's going to be a fun grand finale near the end of it. And if you didn't have a chance to come out to the fairgrounds, there are a couple spots like the Ridgeview High School and the Juniper Golf Course is where people are going to go check out the fireworks. So hopefully you enjoy the show from the comfort of your home and have a great 4th of July. Back to you, Lee.
All right, thank you very much, Jillian. A little bit jealous now. I've been to both of these fireworks shows many times. They're both terrific, folks. Some of the best in the state, I must say. All right, that's Jillian Fortner. She's in Redmond tonight. Claire Elmer is in Bend. Okay, we're giving you front row seats tonight for our fireworks through our Skycam network. I'd like for you to take a live look now from our Old Mill District camera, courtesy of Mid-Oregon Credit Union. We've positioned that camera to point straight at Pilot Butte to take in this spectacular show. Now let's switch it up and take a live look from Aubrey Butte. Now we're shooting all the way over to Redmond from our Aubrey Butte camera, so you're going to get a wide panoramic look from the Deschutes County Fairgrounds where the fireworks will light up the sky in about 6 minutes from now. What's really fun about these fireworks? The science behind the show. Here to break down the details of and the fuel that works these fireworks, our own man of science. Local Alert Chief Meteorologist John Carroll. John, tell us about what makes all these pretty colors.
What it is, folks, is it is the beauty of science dealing with what we refer to as stars or little small pellets that are embedded inside of all those fireworks that go up, and then these little tiny, they're called stars, they're really little pellets of these different minerals. Each mineral generates a different light. So here's what we have. We see the beautiful, beautiful colors going up, and we have the folks that look at these and go, ooh, ah. But have you ever had a nerd that sat next to you and went, ooh, aluminum, oh, copper, I don't know what that one is. Oh, but yeah, that's what the science of the fireworks are. So really, what are they? So strontium. That's the red. That's the one I always have trouble with. Lee, you know that one, right? Strontium. And the orange is calcium. So that is generating that calcium color. Now, yellow, that's from sodium. Barium gives us the green. White there, that's aluminum. and titanium. Now, I don't know if you can really tell the difference between aluminum, titanium, and the magnesium, because this is silver and this is the white, but it is definitely a very subtle difference. But sometimes what you got to do is you got to kind of combine these together and get a different color. You ever, when you were a kid, did you ever kind of mix the different colors and get green and another color and it comes brown or something? It's the same type of thing. We have copper and strontium, which gets us the purple. Now, blue is copper. Now, little known fact, the blue color or the copper is the one that really is used more frequently than any other. Well, strontium is actually used as well, because that combines in with the purple. So that is really the science behind it. These little tiny pellets called stars go up, and when they ignite into the night sky, they illuminate and giving us these colors. So what do we do? Let's do it again. Aluminum. What do we got? Copper. And Lee, what's this one?
Strontium.
Strontium. Hey, that's it. So aluminum. So yeah, if you're kind of a science geek, that's what you're going to do instead of ooh or ah, strontium. That's the science.
Oh, I thought I had been done with chemistry class a long time ago. It never hurts to learn something new every once in a while, huh? All right, we're going to take a quick pause now, folks. We'll be very quiet for a couple of minutes. We're going to get ready for the fireworks shows. They start at 10 p.m. We're going to head over to our Fox station. You're invited to do that with us. We'll start the show right at 10 o'clock, and we'll have music to go along with these fireworks. Again, this is the first time we've ever done both Redmond and Ben's shows simultaneously. We're looking forward to it. We're really excited here at the station. I hope you are too at home. We'll be back in just a moment.
First, local, live. Now, from Central Oregon's news leader, this is the KTVZ 4th of July Fireworks Spectacular.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the KTVZ 4th of July Fireworks Spectacular here on Fox, and we're also streaming live on KTVZ Plus. This special presentation is sponsored by Subaru of Bend, Patio World, and Good Life Brewing Company, and we want to thank them for their support, obviously, of course. I'm Lee Anderson tonight, joined by Local Alert Chief Meteorologist John Carroll. John, what a great night for some fireworks to celebrate our country's birthday. All right, we're going to hear from him soon. They're getting the show started. Let's go right to it. How fun was that?
That was a blast. That was awesome.
And we could hear it and kind of feel a concussion from that.
Yeah.
From the one in Bend. Redmond's awesome too, I tell you.
It was funny. We had them going against each other. It was almost like the battle of the fireworks displays.
It's amazing. They started right at 10 o'clock, both shows.
Yeah.
And then, bam, they end right at the same time.
I know. It's almost like they're calling each other and said, hey, we're finishing up. KTVZ has us. We have power. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was so much fun there. I'm lost here. Where are we going right now?
This parade was pretty funny because at the end of the big dogs, there were a bunch of small dogs.
Oh, all right. Well, we got other 4th of July fun here for you. Paws took to the pavement this morning to kick off Bend's 4th of July, as it always does. Isabella Warren has the sights and sounds of the more than century-old tradition now.
Despite the rainy start, Bend's annual 4th of July pet parade was packed.
Seeing all the different kinds of dogs and different animals.
For over a century, onlookers have lined downtown Bend for the sights and sounds of hundreds of pets.
I think I've been here about 4 or 5 times.
Pups were perfectly patriotic, decked out in their red, white, and blue. From big dogs to small dogs to all in between, taking to the pavement together.
Usually it's the big dogs.
You like the big dogs?
Yeah, and this parade was pretty funny because at the end of the big dogs, there were a bunch of small dogs.
Though cat owners weren't too happy. Stars and spangles, snakes on skates, even sloths. Some even traveled from out of state to take part.
My family lives in Spokane and we come to Bend every year.
Anything that you're hoping to see maybe in next year's parade?
I am actually hoping to go in the parade, maybe.
In Bend, Isabella Warren, KTVZ News.
The city of Redmond, of course, held its annual 4th of July parade this morning. Take a look. You can see the weather did play a part, but it didn't stop people from coming out and enjoying the day. They took to the streets to celebrate the 4th, as they always do. There were cheerleaders, classic cars, floats from Redmond businesses and the city council. Even dogs got in on the fun, painted with stars and stripes. And a big thank you to viewer Brian Johnson for sending in that video to us.
Well, folks, we had a rainy start to the day. It was rainy overnight. We had the rain showers yesterday. About this time, we were dealing with some strong storms that were moving through the area, but everything worked out just fine. Rarely happens in the weather world, that's for certain. So let's take a look here at the Prineville Reservoir. This was at 10:27, so we did see some rain shower activity earlier in the day, but by 10:37, it was definitely a quiet and calm water. As you can see, hardly any ripples on there. A lot of folks there, you can see the dirt there is a little bit wet, but I wouldn't say it was a muddy mess. It was much needed rain. That rain was actually kind of nice because as we got the tops of the soil just a little bit wet enough that maybe it would prevent something from igniting tonight from these fireworks. So really kind of worked out okay. But here's what we got going on now in our live traffic cameras. Lapine looking smooth, Prineville, Bend, Madras, Redmond, and in Sisters all dry, and that is good news. We're clear and cool as we go through the night tonight. Temperatures are going to drop down into the 30s and 40s. We're drying out. We're going to be in the 80s tomorrow. We were in the 70s today because of the cloud cover most of the day, but we're going to go back into the 80s tomorrow. Normal high temperature is about 81 degrees. We're going to get to 82, so that's pretty good July weather. Here it is, single digits as far as the current winds are concerned. Really not much movement in the atmosphere, so you get to see those fireworks go up and do their thing, just kind of spread out and fan out, and that was a lovely display. That was really cool. That was real nice to be part of. All right, folks, here's the exodus of the shower activity, all clearing the way for what's going to be a mostly sunny day tomorrow. Radar returns and went back to 825. Here, this is 395, and this is in Grant County, and there are those showers that are moving off into Idaho and dissipating as the night moves along. Here's what we got going on for you. Further to the south, and there were just a couple of showers lingering around down through in portions of Lake County. Future Track does have us actually going into the quiet zone for tomorrow. So what we're dealing with is a very quiet pattern, just a couple of clouds just drifting overhead. And as we continue to move forward, we will see nothing but quiet conditions. We got a 59 and a 60 with clear skies, 51 and 42 relative humidity. We got 56 in Sun River, 59 in Prineville, and 53 in Sister. So as we move forward, checking out our Future Track 7-day, we got this hot pattern that's going to start on Monday, 94 degrees, 95 on Tuesday, a passing storm on Wednesday, and that'll cool us down by 1 degree, 89 and variably cloudy on Thursday, hot again Friday.
John, thank you. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back and have more news here on your Fox station.